Mame fa say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV de o se dem yopo. So already on not joining a executive director for GAG joining a studio say so Nana Akwaba and about 4 policies and abino rolling out July we are talking about 5% excise tax on plastics and almost plastics plastic chairs almost better to then 24-hour economy to is under radar and also then I think issues on non that's VAT now VAT right I think 5% addition. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay. So these are some new policies coming up with a 2.3% increment of electricity tariff, right? So these are about 4 policies are being rolled out. I don't know which angle person will pick free, but let me ask you, Mpaibono.
Oh, I was there in the spirit. Nah, Mentimia and Ruho. But Cobra Senior, who are some canon, who say, a new money be your a empire and a bit me a bois. I'm a me a CC and no coin. Oh, Cobra, a new money dorsal.
Bobby so.
Oh, a business say a buying way here a cuckoo drew. And on Pibo penny bit me as over a cuckoo drew the SI Jumano.
I see.
Because Cobra, say, me pet me penyam sempa.
I know.
And may obia. Even though me not church person, I used to be a very good church attendant. Me quite sorry, bibia, but now saying the main time quite sorry. Now, Quara say, okay, the Book of Chronicles. Now we share how God simplifies the relationship with Nipa. Sans yenkitangudie ene Nyankopon ne nipa die. Na Kwabra o se wo na wo ni mi no ni mi din no. Of if the people who know me by my name na enye obia na onim nyame a onim Nyankopon by ne din.
Yeah.
What you say? Yeah. Say omo be bre omo ho ase na omo akomu kotodwa ni wo mpaibo mu a de omo bebusa me Nyankopon bia no be ya mo. Se wo hwe baby a John Mahama efa oman ni free na wo hwe the trajectory na ye nam so na kwabra wo hwe baby a Nyankopon de aba bedru even within this few months fan say 6 months akabe say 6 days now is 6 months pepe me boa.
Yeah.
Wo hwe baby a John Mahama for oman ni free na wo hwe baby a ode oman na ekọ na even po ene de ye yesusu say ya ho ye hia no akoye say kura de nka enye de ma yesan say baby a na ye free ba no ene ho hia no eye ten de na omo say eye ma yen
ene
de no na sabi obi be bobo hu say o be kakra say o man no kra bi a ye ba be toto nioma mu ni nioma no kwabra enu no po no eye ten de ekufado jaaye what you say it is e bia ukwohwe bibia eno no ye dada setena mu edi akotene wo mu pa te say bibi te say fango obo so you use petrol, you use diesel, you use gas obia auto gas auto gas oil diesel auto petrol auto kerosene obi abetime di adanse say efiri say owura mahama baaye no saa nneɛma yi ɛso atete
that one
ama kwabra ɛno na translate into several other cumulative prices of goods and services saa deɛ ne titiriw kwabra another idea ɛno nso so significantly ama Ghana for deserve say yɛbɛkɔ yɛn nkotodwe ni wɔ mpaebom na yɛyi nyame ayɛ ɛhyerɛhyerɛ ne din na yɛasasrɛ nneɛma mmienu bɔnefakyɛ ɛne mpuntuo ɛwɔ yɛasetena mu no ɛyɛ $1 kwabra significantly no aban wei ɔsrɛ nyankopɔn nyansa no nyame ama ne bi ama watimi amanage $1 no. Yes, kokotra kan de bia wɔyɛ adwuma. Say the God is always at work, Satan is always at work. Nti no you don't expect say abaning bɔne ho mmɔden no ne adversaries and the detractors no will go to sleep. No. They are finding sophisticated ways and means to make sure say abaning be go ase. Na kwabra sa de we yɛmfa hwɛ gye sɛ mpaebɔ. Yes, oh bɔ ho mmɔden. Ma ube ya mpaebɔ. Mpaebɔ a wobɛtumi de atu ɛyɛ saa adamo ne honhom nase. What you say? You know, I support the prayer your friend is saying and Thanksgiving service now both the Islamic and the Christian just that I'm not religious, so I believe say wherever there is a prayer, no, every prayer is a prayer, and so the best say omoma nananom so no ekwan no mfa nsangu fom. You say nneɛma a ɛdo koro ɔman wei mfie nwɔtwe atwa mu no kwabena gye sɛ yɛyi apayɛ kakra ka ho na ɛnyɛ saa deɛ a abɛyi dɔm ne nkaberekyerɛ de nyɛ ɔmo nyinaa de bɛkɔ nti paebɔ ne deɛ megye tum sɛ ɛyɛ but kwabena more significantly adeɛ a mesusu sɛ aban wei ɛbɛhia Ghanafoɔ mpayɛ titiri wɔ ho ɛyɛ akokoduro a aban we benya ade atu kro no ketase pro ye dwirim kankan ase kwara for example obia wa follow eye oral bia hu say oral no yield a certain resource bia sa resource no ebetimi ama sika a ehwere o man no na o man ne hwere ye no yen sabetimi aka bi yen sentimi nka ne nyina even though the promise was that recover all loots. It's not easy to recover all loots, just that so wo bon ho modern kra timi e recover be say ohamu titemu be di okono na edu pebi de wonsa nka kra na eno no ekofa say ugu enhwehwemu so a ebeboa ba kwara eya na madwen no e kono ma bi so say it's about the significant amount the government is able to retrieve. It's not about the number of persons you would try. What you say? Because many maybe shishemason, for example, say obi etimi di omai sika $263 million under the guise of cocoa rehabilitation. The person is not under arrest, but Professor Amir Kunfi $2 million yachino. And I'm not able to comprehend. How about baby I'm free no? The partiality in dealing with the subject matter no. I'm worried.
Yeah, umbedru ho. Investigations.
Debbie. You see, there are things that are straightforward cases that need not much investigation. Because
from where you sit.
It's not from where I sit. He has come publicly to announce it.
Yeah, and I make say, investigations.
No, Kabra. We investigation. Because it's a conclusive subject matter that has been discussed by no less a person but the CEO of Cocoa Board. Or say, Omuma and Kofu Juma, Omuma contractor Juma, 156,000 hectares of cocoa rehabilitation. As at the time I know Kasano, only 40,000 had been achieved. And Ghana has lost in excess of $263 million. The entire amount was $600 million from the African Development Bank. Apart from that, we have spent $700 million from Ghana. Yeah, Yesikem, Cocoa Board Sika. Do you think, say, such a investigation, any further investigation, be a man?
Yes, of course. So you need to track it, where the money is. So,
okay.
Yes.
Okay, so why then would any government that has this information, very material information, further give such a company any other contract? That's where my problem is.
Well, saying or the man. Ada obey ye we investigations we know a jidi or the man nina.
I know Nicodemus Adriana.
Safira.
Oh, so Kora, I have petitioned the board of Cocoa Board over this subject matter. And Tina may come once. Ah, yes, my petition. No. I'm a petition. I don't know.
Who do this as here?
Medicine. Actually, AKA Okumkom. Kabra, he is a member of my former church. Elder of Usampov. Aye. That's only so no one packet as any project.
Who let her know?
May let her know, may address it to the chairman of the board.
What do this as here?
Me try in full. With all the hyphens and whatever. I wrote everything.
Nensaka.
No, dear, mint. What's you say, for some food do a diligent job.
Because Major sir,
because the episode, baby episode, they are semi fan, and you're not person too. For some people, we are very diligent at his service to this country. I mean, what a problem! Oh, because we see where your national agenda, it's a public interest story. Why someone would go and cut people's farms down, would not plant them, and in the end, Kabrama taught 28 farms, 28 different farms, largely in the central region. I'm supposed to go to the Ashanti. I've done a part of the eastern. I'm going to western next week, God willing. They say me any weekends. Weekends. I'm really, and I'm concerned because you see, it is the main reason why I've heard people try to even laugh at me for applying for a contract and all that. I don't have a problem doing all those things. But
you're a Ghanaian.
I'm a Ghanaian. Aside from that, I'm very much passionate when it's about the farmer because my father, who nurtured me all through his life, has been a farmer. Despite all his other businesses, whatever. He is you have so much attestations to what my father does. And I'm a very typical, a hands-on person. Until I know what I'm able to do to achieve and help Byte to achieve. And until I me Cocoa Board who hear me no. And until you say be a papa woman so menu more deke kentira. A idea who hear me say was here ye na cocoa farmer no. Kwabra I met 117-year-old woman. Ewo aguna inkum. Kwabra this old woman no. Ye try the cocoa farm egu 9.5 hectares. Acres egu. For 6 years, Kwabra, Williams come the Amabrano. 16 million times 3. 1,600 cities times 3. Because the contractor failed, you know. Meanwhile, the contractor has taken $263 million.
4,800 or something. 1,006.
1,006, yes. Omuchagu, and the first day, Omuchagu, your man 28 million, 2,800. And Mama a subsequent amount of if you look at all these, I think say I was say a bino particular because I to say mu Joe Forcing is no better than Amir Kunfi. Ebasa then I'm worried. I don't think I say who be here.
But again,
you be born empire
you between the empire also
because say mu bemwa ebufo beba. And I'm not going to say be aboa ma ban banti e be kan anu atum say mu yiyi mu because me hwe professor Amir Kunfi na me hwe small boy here or no 200 the money is huge. $263 million.
And the man be or small for Paul say when in the bino just say a country in Bible.
Okay. But I think if I look into that
your first aspect, say you have come to tattoo.
Oh now because if you have met I'm saying if we leave it at this without prayer for the John Mahama government because you see the ahonkeka amanfo nya ye de koto aba no abemubuo beba ejina saa musi omo awie sika mo ba ya mo antimi anye afa kura no people are able to insinuate say sika no kura no mo ne o ma chedi all these insinuations no kwabna eno na unu say politics is about perception. That's what we learned. And the more people perceive you to be A, even when you are not, you become A.
Yeah.
Like they use perception against John Mahama in his first term, and at some point, NDC for GD said John Mahama is incompetent. Was that not a perception? Until Senyanko Ponya don't make Kufuado Ba Bemwa, you who say, say your tone, your color TV, your color black and white. No? Was it ever something anybody could have evaluated and said, say, John Mahama incompetent? It was not. Until John Mahama was seen to have been rather the competent one after the massive incompetence shown by the Akufo-Addo Bawumia regime. There was no way to check whether John Mahama was competent or not. And the same should happen if the government, the John Mahama government, refuses to take charge and retrieve all monies lost, especially in respect of the Cocoa Board saga. It would have meant said there was no need going for John Mahama because the ills are continuing. Say World Bank sikana abano, almost had the contract na mano. Nipa uwa beko edu say wanya jumano. Then what would have been the essence of having any management at the Cocoa Board? And to say the other than what must say? So I think, even though prayer works, it's much to do with how we reset ourselves into believing, the task ahead, is not about Yonko Gro. And yes, Madame Fournier, and now we are down Fournier, and now we anyway, and now we be then we discussed the Akufo-Addo in nepotism. Then there's no need. Chronism. We discussed it. What must I say? So much to do with prayer, no. And it's a me no. Me bon paya ma John Mahama. Say Nyankopon ma na kukudro. Any yokodro honhom. A obetime dia ye adwuma no akwa akosi awie ya ma oman no enya ne ntoma pa afra. And yes, then I think there would have been no merit. Because kwabra, you may think NDC for ebi omo ye adwumaden. The Ghanaian rather gave them what they deserve. What I say, NDC really deserves the governance of this country because of how they have conducted themselves. They are not saints. Sinto will be brafa. Don't mama when you Yankopon or Sinto. But I did you and yes, Sinto, I was a woman who quite money back. Because we'll be a real Mexico $263 million. And yes, Kaketwa. Say Professor Amir Kunfi 2 million. To 2 million free 263. Ebeka saying, Ebeka $261 million. And yes, Kaketwa. Now they are more busy Kochako, a phone, Dia Coco, Keke, Dia. One Casaba Becas out of 156,000, why 40,000? Then you further give me a contract, then it means you are the problem, not MPP. What must I say?
No.
You rather are the problem.
It's clear.
And it's very unambiguous. That person does not even have to have the space. By now, I was saying catching and creation in semu. And now you grow. And then we are down for an hour in here, and now we be no Debbie. Say, Uncle grow the Ames more for I'm your Confintimuniano.
Say, no, I say no for Kufujuma.
I think anyone can come to Muniano.
Offer.
And no Mumiana come and run a sure ace. Sorry. Kwabra, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I forgot that I'm here. Say the bia o me di enkomo bone wa bontin
honorable no akasa afa me ho no
oh enti no
uzi okodo for that
the way amusi mu ano no
afa da akasa
afa no ayemre na afa no ma ne be ma adwojo
ai
say the be ma yo no adwojo
na say the metro na ba form
the metro na ba form eno pa uze ujafo ehwihwan kakra se okoy no se odi birthday an ye kofa no
yes sir
oti birthday asia yes so omomo asia o manana
asiewe chain
mo senior ne ko sha asia o na sia di for mo nyu Director General and Chair we obo adwuma o Lydia is really working and so ebo mabaso. On that, prayer is much needed. Prayer is needed. I will see a bonfire. Oh, I like John Mahama's gentility. But I want to let John Mahama reflect on one thing, say. The impunity of the MPP and the Akufo-Addo Bawumia is as a result of Mills's magnanimity and his decision to let go. Sa let go no eye kasa Nyankopon correctly e de Nyankopon ko de bone nyina beche enya ne mane yen ade ti no twe ne maso e wo won bone ho. God never forgives. Your bompa say and forgive us our trespasses no. What there look into the Bible and ask who was ever forgiven. At least there is a mitigation of punishment. I know there but asotwe the e den beba. God can mitigate.
Or say,
but
Bonnie Akatua
and you
when we did Bonnie Umuda.
What you say? So, me the way fine gentleman, the way people speak well of him, the magnanimity, the benevolence, the nakro, the kasade. I like his spirit. Sebi edi asumdie befie. But not when someone has seriously committed a crime against this country and deprived many Ghanaians of what they in the instance of Mami Kwabra
a change genocide
ne bonia or ye and say o ma ho kwan se muntwa me koko na so aba $10 64 kg annually no nya a minimum he say mutwa gu ye no oni hwe 16 million am de man na one bag kra na yesen enti $10 and 31,000 and as enka mu dua yen so a enka 9.5 acres no enka kwabrank wanya ko betime nya 135,000 cedis annually it we gina 135 achi se ko twa mi koko gu a ni mo twa ni koko na gu a musimu nua when you also so na masa a new contract but yes sir then it means you are really committing genocide like you are saying. As a nipa ho mfa mo e ba sa na sebi men kai ewia se yawo obi ani wonu ma chief wasem pakodo sa no fon kai Kenya began well oh and Sri Lanka it began well but it got to a point people were like as a people are taking us for granted and when it gets to a point where people feel that politicians are taking the people for granted Kwabna you cannot hold the people for ransom. Ebetija. Iti mesre se omofa kukodro enye adwuma no. Na kronkron ye no enye se fa bone chenko a kronkron ye ni bi ni se obetwe bone aso ama bonefo agya bone ye. Kwabra increment of electricity tariffs. Enye nkoma obi ai party. Kwabra but perifo se edija wane e di aso awo. And udi ade a eye ne papam ne boni mu a aban yi wabedi obi ade obi abebusa se Akufo-Addo eba ya obedi John Mahama ade ewo IMF anu ode agya ne no ho
yeah
oba no oka kire Ghana for se me ba metwa IMF nim contract na omne Ghana won oka kire Ghana for oba ya no wantimi antwam yekobusa no no se otwam a enyeye enya sa okay John Mahama wanka se obetwa IMF contract bi emu oka se obe follow IMF conditionalities bi abia no na emum no woni omu be sin konwa na wo make sure say nioma ano ohye no ebe be baba form meboa enti no se wo hwemu a se de na me discuss your friend say fan wo ne dollar ne sensem no kwabra e wo say ka by now no the rate of electricity no and can your calculations no because un say you triangle for $1 obi a we IPP bia you $3 dollar equivalent in cedis now sa IPPs no mo charge e bia $1 per unit of energy e was say and can translate about the cost of energy mu cost of electricity mu what you say
yeah
enti no fane say na electricity na $1 is to 1 unit me nka say sa na ti o fane say na yes a unit of your friend is saying electricity cost $1 fane say $1 during the Akufo-Addo's time was 16 to 17 cedis meboa
17
enti say 17 how dey fane 17 na Kora 17 no meant say me use 2 units of power I should be charged 17 times 2 meboa enti 17 times 2 no say ene say dollar no aba bedru fane say 11 and now they 12 what they fane say dollar na drew 12 no eswate by 5 cedis per unit
yeah
hello what I say so yeah, the 2% of sa 12 cedis no kra ka ho a enu se na me to electricity under Akufo-Addo. You get a wisdom?
Yeah.
So it means say nipa na ono kra no wo sa the tax na ba be tax no
still save ska
wo be save ska from time ana one Akufo-Addo di dwa no
yeah
ene wo di enim no wo be save some percentage a eye huge. What I say?
Straight up. So what you so calculating here every point be no nipa bit me saving now like 3 or 4 cedis.
4 cedis. Even with the increment no. Obet must save.
Yeah.
What I say? So and no na ya me pese on say eya na kwabra me nim sa count your many blessings and name them one by one. What I say? If this government would let Ghanaians know the blessings is accrued unto the people of this country. Sa de bebrebe no amafo be jaye. Wisdom game. What am I say? Because nipa no ba no na fuel yesen. Say fuel yesen. It is our tariff fuel no kra na se ya. Na wo de bi a 1 point and I say 1 cedi kra mpo to so a. Say the normal some beje 1 cedi on a liter no. That 1 cedi on a liter no. So we calculation na according to say obia save be say 8 to 9 cedis. What you say? And also they find say 7 cedis. 7 cedis now we save you know. What say there be on some amount? Sa 7 cedis ni 4. Na enya 3. I know crowns and am for you did.
Yeah.
But did you hear people cry during the time of Akufo-Addo and Omoto Petro 17? No? It was a silent cry.
Yes.
What I say? And no di jina so koto aba. And you say no ba na o ka so the 1 cedi be ka ho no kura no. Onim say a time will come at the end be say akofeda down.
But per all state institution survey, 54% of Ghanaian populace want the government to implement the energy levy.
Energy sector levy.
Yeah.
It's
54%.
Because what fascinating crew. What you say? Umia osu, where mia wo fase na etiato.
Yeah.
Na sebi asembia yetase na bese panic hina bahan. Sebi o. Enye se aban no ne ho na te no na wo pesika bia akodie. And mind you, Kwabna, and yet 2 na kufa do na na amanfo bu afu de no mo de to ne ye no a to no de wo je to no de akoye no
that is where the problem is,
because said o ma je to na otimi de to no e make sure say o manfo benya ahwa aho be he ha wo mo
like Kotokuom. The bridge has been there for the past how many years, God knows. So me a resident of Kotokuom. Oka chem say abansi meju levy. Me that sorry one day that bridge that high adwene over years.
Yeah. Ama penfo ewu. Ama me fuya kenwuram. Ama
now abai no aye bridge na amamia. What am I thinking about levy? Your friends say energy sector levy. Yeah,
they are buying this kind of because no government has anything apart from their people no.
Yeah.
And the governance is about management of resources, now, both human and minerals and what
just a breakfast in the free land eba. And there's a bit bubefu.
Some amount scanners or the back of him saying, yoga chair, sima kokra bonnie, yoga chair, the peja and kwala nine.
Yoga
chair. Oh, Kwabramun Google. Now say yoga chair no craft for crabba. A empire, a kasubum wasu.
What is a kasubum?
Suhum sawem.
What is suhum sawem?
Pemgro.
Pemgro, no, a dear.
Bear money or bar eda.
Or bear money or banana.
Ọmọ fa ọmọ ho ọmọ swaso ọmọ ho oh so yẹ papa panimu na yẹ jeje toọ sẹ je kọbọ ọman ne ho bra na it turns out sẹ sika na wo de kọbọ ọman ne ho bra no wo de wasa usire mu gro mendamase Ghana fo nya so mfa so hwede si wo airport sẹ covid aba wo no Ghana ni president no wakofa wo yonko Nigeria ni a ono no ni test box iron so Benedict ni tika kraka akwana na se jakpa kochi no tibembe na wono no aba betina Ghana ha na wono agigi yesika na momoni na kofa akire ni mo acha adi wabra no Gucci wo ho make us wabodam I'll tell you straight because we are penny now you say I mean enkola beka se wagimi straight because wo nya penny papa ayenu tena me we are obofo oh so these are things that get the Ghanaian angry. But funny say ne, Kwabna, for a very long time, na potholes say wa kwemu. For example, I'll use Joulu for example. Say Joulu akwanya ya ye. Yusuf na ye Mahama na de mano, his first term, his excellency na de mano. Or baye, Akufo-Addo no ba ya no mo ka se wonje adwuma. Senamatia Jaku wu ya ye wo fa ba ko wu ye plane e da ho plane e no mo start so mo ye adwuma no se ne be ya o mbe ma lead ade aba abam e no kura no so mo botu ansa na lead aba abam otuma se e na abedru dumelo so yi otia se ene Joulu ye potholes
me ne o ka say
oh yeah anaju bi me ka tai Kwabna e ka de enkaka ne ko sha menem e na metia so speed
not carrying the speed.
The speed. Enti sada no. A bomb no. Just a phone call. Dumelo is on the site.
I see.
He is working assiduously. One time at the end. He is working. All he needs to do is to make sure say, Minister, Mr. Potholes with you. Me pass them on everywhere. Me constituency no. Eti me boa pro pa. And work is ongoing. Ebi and rules so ebeba because they are working. And these are things that initially no John Mahama in his first term no decided say, well yeah asphalt no after Saudi na said yeah would the solid tape afa buku ho. Who said a chetete. And we started so yeah asphalt no. And no better be sorry any asphalt.
Yeah.
And by way one year abanya obeka se wonye adwuma or ye adwuma no se ba sa na utua to bi a enye wo den because when you say to no will go a long way to solve a problem in your neighborhood or your vicinity. What you say?
Yeah.
Enti no enye to na ni petua no per se ene ha no e ha ni pakro. But the ye de to no be ye. Ene hia. The ye de to no e be ye. Kwabra
because Ghana ni bi age impuntu di.
Why not?
It is otua to like recently a man for kasa about doing so eco form kra
me call Malam Ra. Malam 4 had a problem. I said, you were the one in the seat. I made a boy in the voice, boy.
Yeah.
Just after, no. JJ, I'm on my solve a problem, no. And the guy told me, say, oh, honorable, my feed in a dredge, and I'm saying, there be you. And yet, if you didn't get any dredge, you were a buyer and I saw a mere.
Okay, some more.
Yeah. Because
I say
long time no.
Omo didi ejina patem no. Afi do mo ni di atem bi.
Omo ntimi because ye wo bia e ka we minister bia ne huna abo ase de ye transfer gi awo a o ka se mo am koy mo tenten boy. Mo am koy mo tenten boy. Mo koy mo tenten boy. Omo kan kan fa mo koy mo tenten boy. Ase ye tena ne huna so gi awo.
E wo man for maternity ara.
We huna asra. You can't go yourself, sir. So these are things that Emma in Kitahudie ne yamre. Oman for a here way. John Mama Yadibi very marvelously, and he has received a lot of applause. Me say so for be create can wasem.
Okay.
Say me the 1 liter and 1 cedi to 1 liter so. Me who say no Iraq war no betimi akoso no I mon twen san o man for ho be kire o mo yen twen
yeah Sanya bu mai
it is said there ye dey so nwina gu so che say wo sam nyina be ka utirim because wa ma ni pesu aye adwuma o watenka wadi hia wa hu sika etino onim hia ni asem onim mobroni asem. What you say? Obi de wo ka no o se wo sukra na me ya ne mo ono no wo ko gina kra ka cha ne say e kwan bi e da ha wo se ye kwan ni ye no mo ko to man di se mo try
na ba ko bi do anti ya Ethiopia ya da kwa sha ya de sa ya fira mo bi abake ka te ya mpe ente ya
India dia mo ke ka kwa sha sa ana no say part of their treat
ya da ho no akwate
ene ma hwe ne bono kara okay ya tentem ono kwa sha o se mo embe fi afun ya tentem
ya tentem
ego kwa se mu
yes
no si ya tentem Oh, so I think, say, and Jomama during the launch of the code of ethics for his appointees, no. Kwara o kan simbia ne mudu papa. O say ye ba say ye be som. Na yamfa ubia nkwa nko hye ho say ye fill space. Hey. Jomama ni nyansa ne son. Etiana sometimes no. Se sinto bi kura wo ho akwa na me den se metimi aka because he's too wise. Naturally he's very intelligent and wise.
Also I'll give you 60 ministers. Or the 56 there.
56 a boom mine till now.
And what?
Ebi e tina na bi e bebo mi din a me twen.
Honorable.
It's a joke over some. On va mama na ko the patin TV akon. Etino kwara his wisdom no is at play. And un say yes the odi eche sua the odi kan nante. Ono no onkoye ade a wo be sua no bone kwan so never. John Mahama will not intentionally un say I am a casting and mistakes.
Yeah.
Error. Yes, to err is human. Maintain so be aka say to sin is human that. But to err sin to e wo nipa ho. And from wo nipa ho. nipa de I mean sebi nyankopon pe and the word perfect no no human being is ever perfect except God. And so krampo no nyankopon kra no unim say o de mre and the bibia. That's why I always abide by that quotation, no, time is the mightiest judge. And you know, so in the wisdom of John Mahama, and Kobetimiaka say, I'm the man in a hurry, like Akufo-Addo mentioned. A man in a hurry to put us in a ditch. And he did so. Recklessly. I mean, without any shame. What destroy any mind, what man was swallowed, they said, Ako Bonife Yase. Say, see, I hear MPP or Monam, or Kasa Kase, Quabra, would there, share more social media, ne kind comments. Don't just look at the Oma post to know, kind comments. Let's share how Ghanaians are dealing with them. How Kama is treating the MPP. Because they showed Ghanaians their truest of color. MPP and the Akufo-Addo and Omuma Yehu send ye Omusu ni Omuban etie pa.
Send ye TTUP no.
Etie. A boy folk
Kofo to me cover up.
No, he is wise.
Kofo to me cover up.
He is wise.
But Akwa ima Yehu say TTUP no.
And Kwabra, it's hard to find a Kofo like in MPP.
Oh.
So ye MPP benya Obia Sebi or Tessa Kofo 1%. A wedding.
What you mean but when my young
and Nancy who tell the speech now? Hey.
Oh no.
The wisdom and but where your papa Emfa MPP. Look, I hear tan dear. Ye bodia et said ye cannon near you who NDC. Now Ed Papa Casano, the few, say no, and crown social media.
Yeah,
share. Yeah. They are more intelligent than you. They know what it is. They know what the MPP has really done to them. They are never going to forgive an intolerable sin. Intolerable sin. Nipa wa kasa unim se sebi yare ba. No abe jina no man also say yare na aba na impoverish me no. I'm further taking yare no tour from you. This will be our bottom. And you think Ghanaians will be magnanimous to say oh and actually ye dey ache.
Na unti I dey na your mama ba no nyim free ho.
Yo.
Odi kodi enkwasi akagina mu no.
Akagina mu. Me so mo dey ya dey get fund. Kwabra get fund o. Omo dey akwakoye dachi fund. Ajisika na kwakodi this 2037 e dey betwa kana bi. Get fund. NHIS no makapo. Me say ada mi tie owura kando honorable abrana chese semisun
oh bro
say watimi baby ayese yamfa ayarefo sika nko foto ayemfa sika nko tumu no we yi sika ne de akwa she Jubilee House edi ayarefo sika wo na we be dey won si mochire we si mochire transition je say wo no wo ji sika no wu ana osade wakosie akoshe mochire na sa adi omusuafo sika wo bu wa bra usu. You know, it's about the demeanor of the government, and the demeanor no they trickle down mostly near the DNI no. I say, the mama bought John Mahama Koko titru wo, and yes she German kahono. Professor Mills ye German kama MPP saba be mu biem no. Omo say yes she kwa won't mean It gives them some form of impunity.
Their immunity.
Immunity. Yes, because they get immune.
Yes. Emboldened.
Yes, I'm emboldened to act with impunity.
Yeah.
What I say. So some of these things, if you watch them slip by, you allow people to get away with murder. Your mama or GSC ma ye kura no wa anya dwuma bia Ghana for any beji. I swear. Kwabra pa ne put it to vote. Say between say impuntu dwuma and say ye beje omo wia ye sika de sika no. Efri omo nchen. Den na John Mahama nye.
Sika ne de ye impuntu. O de ajigu o de ja hoko. Ye nim de be. Yeah, yes, can you? I
Oh, say kopa say hey wo sofu we pachaw ohini we pachaw obi say na akoye say waye oman pani nti no e wo say wo so de akomatoye mu na say bi pani say anoteaba na entiaba akokɔ nan etiaba na entiaba enkuno enti no so sankwase abeyi ubedi so na obi atutu ne ntoma no atutu perfume agu ne ho lavender no abegyina wo nkyɛn no aka kyerɛ sɛ we woyɛ unua sɛ na ekosi san busa ne sɛ oni
2025 ya omuja ejawo ne ya hunu sɛi na ɛbaa yɛ mpuntuo mu sɛi ɛna ayera na sɛi na sɛ yɛ hia yɛ de be close gap ne yɛ de be fill gap no. When you tell the person, say, look, here's how we are going to the person is ready to.
Why not?
Because now you who damage, you know.
Yes.
Then after the damage, you know, people are being held responsible. Yes. People are being punished.
Yes.
Now the Ghanaian, no, or shall say, MSAB.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the routine now, odinkophobia feminine, it should serve as a lesson.
What you say? Now what you be so ya if you there
yeah. So it's not like Ghana impay tax to ya.
Debbie far from that.
Tobut Roto. I'm quite a chairman. I brought for other lady didn't attempt. Say yes, Cadia quite. Yes. I didn't know what say you live, you know, as say. So Ghanaians naturally yes say tax to ya.
We are the easiest to govern.
But when
the Ghanaian is the easiest to govern.
Let me know the reality. That Charlie, I didn't say anything to you.
Would you a quite busy crown or me?
Mepe.
Say over come on, two
mepe or baby was really over baby. I am to him. Dada me. Or buying himself, Dada no.
Why not?
That's
so it's important say abino any entina da bia ya na kwabna me focus ni nyina wo owura Felix Kwachi Fosuo. There was a time a friend was like, Obo Felix din ya na I need to because ehunu bi pay ehunu bi em. And it tells why communication should be the pivot. Because the work is being done and it must be communicated. The rationale behind everything must be known. Don't think for the people. Don't let it feel, say, they should know, say, they way. No. Further explain, interact, and make sure, say, you have enough, your friend is saying, information from the people. Tembiano, you the government be the listener rather than the talker. And so over babontain information about two bedroom na a thorough job done. And you say be a ni and you know almost the information copy then people just easily assimilate. Because mun say when you are more na to anamo hey kwabna adi Africa have been si da dom hamaye. And if he insists using that same module in this government, there is no political party ever, no matter how organized you are, any bit me abu NDC. She say obi awoba abem no ahase any Dr. Fuodi nkita ho.
Yeah.
Mo hi asem ne sen. Me ba de na mo pese me nyama.
Nti obewrem no.
Because me osomfo.
Obewrem no.
Me nyame ho se me minim enti no. Me ba be ye we ya ma doctor for na ma be promise o. Mo me entena se ne ni nkita ho. Anese for mo so mo se sen. Teacher for mo se sen, ekua for koko ekua for.
It was a very successful interaction.
That people's manifesto agenda na jo mama undertake here no. No politician has done that.
And that is what is driving them.
Yes.
Because mess number 2 you know.
Exactly.
Say no money idea that.
Yes.
And command be je from himself.
Share I can't do adwuma oye.
Woo.
It's because answer na oba bemu no.
Wechini
woni at the fingertips.
Wechini
Jeje John Jinapo hwe na adwuma. Share Sam George. Oh, when Sam George at some point was having crisis in Po. Now, you know, he was one way bubbly. Sometimes he tries to he tries his best to at least put some, you know, smiles and all that. But sometimes people think, say, no, he knows what he's about. he went round MTN and me no ka say kwamna opa to data ene because of Ura Sam George Intino ya increasing no. How much affairs near to?
Now the value is not the same.
It's not the same.
Buy small, get
much.
And
it's not easy to come by. MTN, for example, they came out with their pleas. They were like, no, it was not easy for them to undertake such jobs. But looking at how Sam George is able to lobby, a good lobbyist. I said, no, you can't work in Ghana and give us a high cost of data and work in Nigeria and give them a cheaper cost of data. No. Then you must let us be apart. I said, what can we MTN? I can we Vodafone? That day when I was watching it, I can see say a lot of work has gone into it. Look at the trade ministry. Just say every day there is something.
The transport
going on.
Ministry.
Transport, everything is going. I quite to say, you don't even hear, but there's a lot of work ongoing. Go to Dr. Dominic Ayeni's office. Na kwabra mi tie ni briefing on Felix Ofosu Kwache momi ye briefing bi I think a week or two ago. Kwabra na wo itemizing nneoma no de all ye ni modus operandi or de ni nyina egu abonten nye se ye witch hunting se me kwa akoti obi e de na kwa akotum wa bra mi ni na asem te se de omode ye Gregory Afoku enye bia every step of the way, or you should transparency as the key and byword to undertake the duty. So largely, we have a lot of things to discuss. We have to count our blessings and name them one by one.
Then you never properly to pay the taxes.
Why not? Because if you know your money is going for a judicious use or to undertake a job that will benefit you, why not?
When I give money to my wife, I just want a good food. Thank you.
Dedi kama mamena PENDREAM TV ase. Na so far so good. Say open online portal e wo Ghana. Ah nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.